I grew up in Calgary for the most part, and initially did my undergraduate in ecology at the University of Alberta. And I really liked that. I got really into like rangeland science kind of questions there and really started to fall in love with grasses and other kind of herbaceous plants. But after I graduated, I worked a little bit for like conservation groups like ABMI in Alberta, and then got a job with Cows and Fish, which does some rangeland monitoring and riparian monitoring for farmers and ranchers. And I was really inspired by the farmers and ranchers that I was working with, and so wanted to transition more into like an agriculturally focused career. So I started my master's at the University of British Columbia in a and plant and insect ecology and evolution group. Um, and while I was reading and looking up on topics, I came across uh, the like uh, the effects of silicon in plants. Silicon is everywhere, but plants can use it to defend themselves against insect pests, against fungal pathogens. If you supply plants with silicon, it helps them deal with drought and salinity stress and heavy metal stress and aluminum toxicity. So it's really this one element that's not too hard to find in nature, that if you apply it at the right time to plants, it can basically improve their performance against everything that hurts crop health, basically. And so we know that much, that silicon is this really beneficial element, but we have very little understanding of how best to deliver it to plants and what kinds of things we should be looking for in plants when we're breeding them. Maybe we want to breed for a better silicon plant that'll give us this wide spectrum performance boost. I'm still pretty new, so I don't have a wealth of experience to draw on, but I've just been blown away by how supportive the community is. It seems like whatever question you have or whatever issue you run into, there's always somebody like within Canada or even within North America working in plant breeding or plant pathology that's really willing to sit down and give you an hour or two of their time and help you work through your issues. So it's just like really inspiring to see how motivated everybody in the plant breeding and plant genetics community is to help each other and help each other succeed. Some of the other fields that I've worked in are pretty competitive and people like to kind of stay in their own lane and not share too much information. But with plant breeding, I think there's this kind of sense of a higher purpose that keeps everybody like working together and sharing as much information as they can. I think there's two. I think you have to be curious naturally, like you just whenever you see something interesting, you want to figure out what's going on. And I think you have to be really good at looking at plants, because a lot of the interesting things that have come out in plant breeding have come through kind of incidental observation where people are just spending hours in a field looking at all these different plants. They see one little thing that they think is a little bit strange, and then they follow that up, and then their curiosity takes over and they just keep following up, and we get really big discoveries that way. So I think loving to look at plants and being really observationally focused and being really curious will set you up well for a career in plant breeding. Well, Vancouver's a pretty expensive place to live, and so having this scholarship will just help smooth things over on the financial side. And I think will definitely allow me to focus a little bit harder on my studies. It takes a lot of the financial burden off of grad school. And I think will just like allows me to be more engaged with my research and do a better job and not worry about some of the other things going on in life.